And we're back. Hi, I'm Scutifer Mike. Recently, some of my channel members have requested that I share my new player's guide for our Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 1st Edition Clubhouse. So, what follows are the guidelines set out for anyone who wants to join my game. And yeah, it's true, my AD&D campaign is a male-only space because, believe it or not, it's okay to have those. And while some of the lore and rules in this guide won't apply to you specifically, you can take it as an outline and alter it for your home table as you see fit. Welcome to our Advanced Dungeons & Dragons campaign, a return to the roots of tabletop role-playing as a strategic wargame steeped in social dynamics, player responsibility, and a richly interconnected world. This guide covers the essential rules, expectations, and lore to help you thrive in our men's-only Clubhouse campaign. Prepare to engage in a challenging, rewarding experience where your choices shape the world, your character's fate, and your character as a man. AD&D, as envisioned by Gary Gygax, emphasizes not just gameplay, but also social skills, responsibility, and camaraderie. Our campaign embraces this tradition. Be a good club member. Respect your fellow players and Dungeon Master. Avoid distracting others. Practice good etiquette and hygiene. Exercise regularly, and contribute to a positive gaming environment by being a good winner and a good loser. Strive for improvement. As a player or DM, push yourself to improve your strategic thinking, physical health, role-playing, and engagement with the game world. Social dynamics matter. Your behavior at the table, both in character and out of character, impacts your player grade and your standing in the clubhouse. The clubhouse format supports large playgroups with multiple DMs operating in a shared game world. Your character can move between DMs' campaigns, ensuring flexibility and continuity. But expect a mix of players at each session, from new faces to returning veterans. Our campaign is set in a dynamic, conflict-driven world shaped by the War for the Cosmos, where factions vie for dominance based on their moral and ethical outlooks. The world draws heavily from Appendix N of the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide, which you're encouraged to read for inspiration. AD&D uses a 9-point alignment system, combining two axes: good, neutral, evil, and lawful, neutral, chaotic. Your alignment defines your character's motivations and actions, and you'll be graded each session on how well you adhere to it. 3 gods govern this axis. There's Theron, the goddess of good, the platinum dragon, the embodiment of the sun and the beacon of hope. Her followers are champions of selflessness and the protectors of the innocent. There's Ner'zhul, the god of evil, symbolized as the moon, the 5-headed dragon, and the king of death. His followers revel in cruelty, power, and destruction. And Kythanos, an old one of neutrality, the star spawn. Apathetic to mortal struggles, he feeds the land through blood and flood, caring little for human concerns. His followers are druids, cultists, and pagans. This axis reflects your character's relationship with the laws of man. If you're lawful, you serve your liege lord, Sir Bedivere Ironhawk, upholding his laws and promoting societal stability. You're an upstanding citizen. If you're neutral, you prioritize your own interests. You may follow laws for convenience, but you aren't bound by them. You may face fines or arrests, but generally you navigate society pragmatically. If your PC is chaotic, you serve only yourself, rejecting external authority. This doesn't mean senseless violence, that's more for evil characters. Chaotic characters are selfish, guided by personal goals over societal rules. The campaign revolves around the War for the Cosmos, where players' actions, driven by their alignment, shape the world's political, social, and magical landscape. You'll submit secret orders to the Dungeon Master during downtime to advance your goals, whether that's undermining your rivals, forging alliances, or pursuing personal power. These orders are proactive. Passive orders filled with lots of questions or orders that require extensive back and forth clarification will probably be ignored or changed to push the world's narrative forward. Races in this campaign are deeply tied to the milieu and Appendix N inspirations. They aren't just cosmetic choices. Each comes with cultural baggage and role-playing challenges. For example, elves are alien and otherworldly, inspired by the king of Elfland's daughter. They operate on a logic foreign to humans. tied to the land of fairy. Role-playing an elf requires embracing their enigmatic nature. Dwarves, for example, are stoic yet quite protective, inspired by 3 hearts and 3 lions. They're not just short humans. They have a unique worldview and grudges. And halflings are lazy, comfort-loving humanoids who avoid trouble whenever possible. For the other races, you do need to keep in mind that there are specific preferences that are outlined in the player's handbook, and these will be strictly enforced. Choose your race carefully as it impacts your role-playing grade. To better understand the world and your character's role, read Appendix N literature. New players can begin with Conan the Barbarian by Robert E. Howard if they want to play fighters or thieves. 3 Hearts and 3 Lions by Paul Anderson for paladins, dwarves, and elves. The King of Elfland's Daughter by Lord Dunsany for elves, goblinoids, and the Land of Fairy. The Dying Earth by Jack Vance for magic users to understand their spellcasting and the magic user's covetous nature. The Clubhouse doubles as a book club. Reading these works enhances your role-playing and your grading. AD&D is a war game where strategy, resource management, and player choice drives success. Here are the key mechanics you need to know. You're encouraged and sometimes will be forced to have more than one PC. This lets you engage with different factions, alignments, and strategies while one PC is occupied in training or downtime activities. Keep in mind, each class has a unique XP requirement. Thieves level up pretty quickly, magic users are much more slow, and classes like fighters and clerics are in the middle of those 2 extremes. Your class dictates your role in the party. Fighters lead combat, thieves are scouts and they steal. Clerics are second-line fighters that cast support spells, and magic users avoid melee when possible, but cast encounter-altering spells. You're graded on how well you fulfill this role. The DM grades each player after every session based upon alignment adherence, how well you embody your chosen alignment, class role, how effectively you fulfill your class's role in the party, racial role-playing, how well you reflect your race's cultural traits, and social conduct, your behavior at the table, etiquette, hygiene, focus, and respect for others. There are 4 scores that a player can receive, the best being exceptional. It's awarded to only 1 player per session, and it reflects elite level role-playing and strategy. There's superior, a strong performance with no deviation from expectations. There's fair. This is an average score with noticeable deviations from expectations. And lastly, poor, with significant failures in role-playing or conduct. Points are awarded from 1 to 4, with 1 being the best and 4 representing the worst. When you have enough XP to level up, your training time is determined by the average of your grades for that level. XP comes primarily from recovering gold and magic items from dangerous places, and a small amount will come from killing monsters. 1 gold piece equals 1 experience point. You'll often have enough XP to level up, but lack the gold to pay for training. This is because of gold scarcity. Gold is the lifeblood of progression. Training to level up costs 1,500 gold pieces per level per week, and the number of weeks required for training depends on your player grade. You'll need to adventure to acquire enough gold, often at great risk. Here's an example. A level 1 magic user with 2,250 XP, that's the cap for level 1, has only 2,000 gold pieces. They received a superior grade. That's 2 weeks of training, so they need 3,000 gold pieces, 1,500 times 2, to reach level 2. They must adventure for more gold without earning additional XP until they train. After each session, the DM writes an after-action report detailing session events, the players involved, XP and gold earned, and player grades. After-action reports are written with a playful, teasing tone, often poking fun at players' mistakes to encourage improvement. Don't take it personally. It's part of the Clubhouse culture to push you to be a better wargamer. Remember, iron sharpens iron. AD&D is a war game with a fog of war that keeps PC's plans hidden. Players can submit secret orders to the DM to pursue hidden agendas like spying, sabotage, or making alliances. They can engage in player versus player actions, including lying, cheating, stealing, or even fighting, based upon their alignment and goals. They should work together in dungeons for survival, but not necessarily as allies. Trust is earned, not assumed. But some PCs cannot be worked with. When it is revealed that a certain player character is your alignment enemy, any cooperation with them after that will result in downgrades. Your character is an independent agent in conflict with other PCs, whose actions are hidden from everyone except the Dungeon Master. You will need allies, but who can you trust? The campaign uses the 1-to-1 time calendar as detailed by Gary Gygax in the Dungeon Master's Guide to track time for fairness, especially in PvP and downtime activities. If a PC is training, like our example with the magic user, 2 weeks to level up, they're unavailable for other actions during that time. Instead, you can play a different PC during these periods of downtime, exploring new factions or alignments. Strategic time management is key. For example, a magic user can spend 2 weeks crafting spell scrolls and gain extra spells to cast for later, but they miss out on adventuring during that time period. A thief adventuring during that time earns XP and gold, but forgoes activities like burglary. You must return to a haven like town by the end of every session. Towns are free of monsters, making them relatively safe, though other players may still pose a threat. You die at -10 hit points. This gives you a chance to retreat or be saved. So invest in your character's goals and personality. They're not disposable, and their survival depends on smart play. AD&D is a war game where player choice matters. To succeed, be proactive. Submit actionable secret orders to advance your agenda. Balance your resources. Gold is always scarce. Prioritize between training, crafting, and buying upgrades. Use different PCs to engage with various factions or strategies, maximizing your influence in the war for the cosmos. Think tactically. Elite players use time and resources to outmaneuver others, whether through PvP or cooperative play. The Dungeon Master will award generous treasure, gold, magic items, and more, but it's never enough. You'll always need more to achieve your goals. Start by creating your first PC. Choose a class, race, and alignment. Read relevant Appendix N works to inform your role-playing. Discuss your character concept with the DM to ensure that it fits the milieu. You owe the Clubhouse 1 push-up per word of backstory. Next, prepare for role-playing. Understand your alignment, class, and racial obligations. Be ready to submit secret orders and engage in PvP or alliances. Next, join a session. These are pretty flexible with varying players each time. Coordinate with the DM to schedule your PC's activities on the calendar when you're not in session. Embrace the Clubhouse. Be a good club member. Bring enthusiasm, respect, and a willingness to be greater than you were yesterday. Lastly, expect constructive criticism in the after-action reports, and use them to improve. The Clubhouse is more than just a D&D campaign. It's about strategy, role-playing, and pushing yourself to be a better wargamer and man. The war for the cosmos, player grading, and the Clubhouse culture create a dynamic, competitive environment where your choices shape the world. Dive into the lore, embrace your character's goals, and prepare for a game where trust is fragile, treasure is meaningful, and every decision counts. Welcome to the Clubhouse. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this new player's guide to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.